What's the most chaotic thing that happened when your parents stepped away for just a moment? When I was 14, my parents went to our neighbor's barbecue and left me watching my 9-year-old brother Jake and my 6-year-old twin sisters Emma and Grace. They said they'd be back in 2 hours max, gave me the usual instructions about keeping doors locked and not letting the kids destroy the house. Easy money, right? Wrong. For the first 30 minutes, everything was perfect. I made grilled cheese sandwiches, the twins were watching some cartoon about talking vegetables, and Jake was building something with Legos. I was feeling pretty good about this whole babysitting thing, thinking maybe I was actually responsible for once. Then Jake got bored. He came running into the kitchen with this huge grin on his face, the kind that means trouble. He goes, "Wanna see something cool I learned at school?" Before I could even answer, he bolted to the garage. I heard him rummaging around, and then he yells, "Check this out!" He comes back with a bottle of Coke and these packets of Mentos he must have gotten from somewhere. I knew exactly where this was going, but before I could stop him, he dumped like 6 Mentos into the bottle. The thing exploded like a freaking volcano. Soda went everywhere, the floor, Dad's toolbox, even splashed onto this shelf with old paint cans. One of the paint cans started wobbling and then tipped over, spilling this gross beige paint all down the shelf. It was dripping toward the extension cords plugged in near Dad's workbench. I'm freaking out because I'm thinking we're all gonna get electrocuted. I grabbed every towel I could find and started mopping up the mess, but the paint was spreading faster than I could clean it. That's when Emma, one of the twins, decided she wanted to help. She runs outside and grabs the garden hose. I'm like, "No, wait!" But she's already dragging it into the garage. She starts spraying water everywhere, thinking she's being helpful. The water hit the paint and turned it into this disgusting, streaky mess across the concrete floor. But the worst part? The water hit the power strip, and sparks started flying. The whole garage went dark. Now we had no power, sticky floors covered in paint and soda, and the smell was absolutely horrible. Instead of calling my parents like a normal person, I decided I could fix everything before they got home. I mean, how hard could it be? I got Jake and the twins to help me scrub the garage floor with mops and rags. We were making decent progress when Jake decided he needed a snack. He went to the deep freezer in the garage to get ice cream, but in all the chaos, he forgot to close it properly. We were so focused on cleaning that none of us noticed the freezer door hanging wide open. By the time we realized what happened, ice cream was melting everywhere, dripping onto the kitchen floor. The twins had been walking back and forth from the garage to get more cleaning supplies, and their shoes were covered in the paint mixture. They tracked these perfect little footprints all across the living room carpet, the white carpet that my mom was obsessed with keeping clean. The whole house smelled like a mix of paint thinner and root beer float. When my parents walked through the front door 2 hours later, they had these huge smiles on their faces from the party. They were laughing about something, and then they just froze. My dad looked at the paint footprints on the carpet, then at us standing there covered in sticky mess, then at the garage that looked like a disaster zone. My mom opened the freezer and just stared at the puddle of melted ice cream. For a second, I thought they were gonna lose it, but then my dad started laughing, like really laughing. He goes, "You know what? When I was your age, I tried to build a rocket in this same garage and almost burned the whole place down." My mom was less amused, but even she started giggling when she saw Grace had paint in her hair that made her look like she had highlights. The punishment was brutal, though. I was grounded for 3 weeks, had to pay for carpet cleaning with my allowance, and couldn't have friends over for a month.